Guys, welcome back. This is Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Detroit Tigers. It is July 1st, 2028, and the Tigers are in second place in the AL Central, a couple games behind the Minnesota Twins. We are 46 and 30. It is July 1st. This will be the July episode of Out of the Park Baseball, I guess. And it's been a few days since I've recorded, and we left off, I don't want to say on a cliffhanger, but we left off with the idea that Grayson Rodriguez would likely be moved in this episode. And I spent some time offline, trying to find a deal. And unfortunately, since that I was able to find something, but it was like 4 days ago now, and I don't remember what that deal was. So let's see what sorts of options I get here on Grayson Rodriguez. If I remember correctly, I was getting a pitcher in return and a young player, maybe. I can't remember because, yeah, I just can't remember. And of course, now I can't, the player's not going to show up. So it's something I'll have to address here throughout the month of July. I have a young starter in Traven Balog who is ready to go. He was fantastic last year in AA, 11-3 with a 3.61 ERA. Even better in AAA this year, 6-0 with a 1.94 ERA, 2.44 ERA plus. I mean, he's been phenomenal. So it's time. I think it's time. So I guess before we do anything, I probably won't make any deals prior to the draft. So we'll probably just sim here up to the draft, and then we'll do the draft, and then I'll spend some time looking for some deals. Hang on just a second. All right, so international free agents before we do anything. I put in an offer to Jose Silva. He's the best player out here. With the way things have been going with international signings lately, my anticipation is that I won't be able to sign him, that he'll prefer an offer from somebody else, and we'll just continue to work down the list. Something's changed with the international signing, so I don't really know what I can do other than, find a guy and offer and see what happens. So I like Silva. If he doesn't want to sign with us, I'll probably come down here and offer Melendez. I like that. I think he's going to be, that's potentially elite leadoff hitter, but we'll take it a day at a time here. So, so we're going to sim now up to the draft. So we have the Twins, the White Sox, the Royals, and the White Sox. A bunch of division games here. So huge stretch for us as we play 16 straight games, 22 straight games against division opponents before we finally get a 4-game set here against Texas. So let's sim to next week and see what happens. So we're 2.5 out, and we sweep did we sweep the Twins? No, yesterday was the first game. Oh, is it a 4-game? Yeah, it's a 4-game series. So we've won the first 3 games of the 4-game series against the Twins. Grayson Rodriguez went 7 shutout innings in this one. Collins, Green, Meyer, all homer. So again, just to kind of put things into perspective, we have a little bit of money, but ultimately the goal is to find enough money in the payroll to re-sign Marcelo Meyer. He's asking for $22 million a year, so we need to clear up about another $17 million. But I bet if we were around $15 million in that first year, we could probably get him to bite. So we'll see what happens if we're able to move on from Rodriguez, because really that's the move. I mean, there's nobody else here that I'm anxious to trade. I mean, I suppose we talked about this. I can move on from Lou and just call up Collier and say, get to it. But I would rather do that in the offseason, give Collier a full year at AAA, although he's hitting better at AAA than he has at any of his other stops. So maybe he is just ready now. So, but that's, again, a problem for another time. These are all minor league free agents that we offered to. All right, so let's keep going a day, see if we can get that pitcher to sign. Yeah, these are all... Yeah, here it is. See, I prefer the offer from the Boston Red Sox. Okay, well, you offered him 5. We offered him 5. Now you're saying the Angels are offering you money and you prefer theirs. So, Melendez. 5. Let's just offer 5 and see if we can get Melendez. So we lose the 4th game of the series against the Twins, 8-1. We win 2-0. So another good pitching performance, this time by Stroutman, who we picked up from Tampa in the last episode, and he's been pretty good so far. 3-1 in 6 starts with a 3.11 ERA. Let's keep going. And that's going to be Melendez telling me that he prefers... Oh, no, we did. We signed Roger Melendez. Fantastic. Good. Okay. So we were able to land a free agent. And, I mean, high leader, high loyalty, high adaptability, high work ethic, high intelligence, already has elite speed, projects out to be just a fantastic hitter. Maybe a corner outfielder, depending on whether or not these ratings develop, but I'm fine with that. All right, so we now... Let's just get up to the draft. Let's just sim ahead to the draft, and we'll start digging and making some real moves after the draft, I think. So, and these are all just minor league free agents that I offered contracts to that either are signing or are not signing. So we're back to 2.5 out. 17 games over 500. Game and a half out as we move to 50 and 32. I didn't have to hit the postseason. He likes that. Doesn't see an upgrade at second. Doesn't see an upgrade at stolen bases. Wanted us to re-sign Ken Giles. So he wasn't happy with a lot of this stuff. But he's been good with our progress, so we're okay there. Top prospects. We don't have anybody in the top 10. It means Elijah Green graduated. We are now 6th. Collier's 18th. Zarate Castro. Hayden Jones, who will likely graduate here shortly, and then Armelini. And that was what I had done. There's the trigger. That's what it took. I had offered up Armelini and Grayson Rodriguez. That's what I had done. And I'll show you Armelini here in a second. We've looked at him in the past, but he looks okay. I mean, he's number 67 prospect. Looks like he's going to potentially hit for some power, hit for some gap power, but he's a below average center fielder who's not going to hit for a high average. You can see he's 21 years old. He's hitting 250 in A-ball. So this was what I had done. And there were some, I don't want to say, nothing elite, but there were some good options in here. So something that I can work with, something that we can try to, improve someplace else. And again, it's more about saving the money more than anything else. Wow, this guy, Andre Palante, was plucked from the Sioux Falls Canaries of the American Association. He's turned into a pretty decent pitcher. He's 29, though. All right, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I want to get to the first-year player draft. I want to get through the draft, and then I will offline handle all of my trade stuff. So we signed a bunch of minor leaguers to extensions. We keep winning. We are half a game out of first place. And there's a loss to Kansas City. Drops us a game and a half out. 51 and 33. Some good teams in the American League this year. New York and Boston battling it out in the East. We win 6-5 in 15 innings. 3 hits for Lou, 3 hits for Ramos. Hancock gives up 3 and 5 1/3. Galindo gives up 2, but then the rest of our bullpen, that's 4, 5, 6 2/3 shutout baseball from the rest of our bullpen. So we go into the first-year player draft. We go into it with the potential, if we win today and Minnesota loses, to move into first place. But we look to be in decent shape. Emerson Hancock continues to pitch well, and we'll do stats at the end of the month. I'm not going to break down all the stats right now, but Hancock looks to be performing pretty well. Rodriguez has gotten better. He's up to 6-3, on pace for 2.5 WAR. But again, I'm still, just because of the money, probably going to move him. Jackson Jobe has been good. He's on pace for 17 wins, over 3 WAR, 200 strikeouts. Our offense is plugging along. We have the fourth best offense in the American League. First in WAR, first in on-base percentage, second in OPS. Some players still underperforming, frankly. Well, actually, I don't really. I mean, yeah, right field is still a position of issue. Mario Mendoza is hitting at the Mendoza line, not named after him, but potentially it could be. So right field and second base are our problem areas right now. I could always just call up one of these guys that we have sitting in. Yeah, I got Tommy Edmond up already. I mean, he could be playing. He's playing against lefties, right? Oh, he's not. I feel like Edmond should be playing at second base. Let's stick him in at second base. Let's give him some playing time. We also have David Fletcher in the minor league, so he's somebody else that we could call up if this continues to not work. Another high contact, he's really good defensively. Oh, Andy Taylor, that's not good. That's not good at all. All right, well, we'll get to that here in a moment. We have a draft to attend to. So we are picking last. Mock draft has us taking a catcher, or at least it did. Now it has us taking Rodolfo Botello. If he's there to us at 30, maybe. I mean, that's a pretty solid bat. Good power, good gap power, good eye. Just not going to hit for a high average. But I don't know if I want to take a first baseman in the first round. So let's just start the draft. Let's see what's available to us. So we have a couple of solid options offensively. Dan Boleyn looks to be a very good middle infielder. Goes to Grand Canyon University. Bat has a ways to go at age 21, so that's a bit of a concern. Then we have Botello, who they thought we were going to take. Trey Biggs, I would say slightly above average at everything, but not great at anything. So kind of the stereotypical low ceiling, high floor kind of player. Again, he's already 20, and those ratings are pretty underdeveloped for a 20-year-old. Botello's only 18. He looks to be the best long-term answer. Ben Vicky, he looks to be pretty nice. I mean, he's a left fielder with those ratings, but with those ratings, he looks to be a pretty solid bat. Let's look at pitchers. And we also have, I want to say it's the 37th pick, 38th pick, something like that. So we should be able to get a couple of decent players here. Oh, he's only got 2 pitches. If he had a third pitch, that would be the pick right there. But he only has 2 pitches, so he's not really a starter. A couple of good options here pitcher-wise. Bryce Lupkowski. I don't know that goes to George Brown in Canada. He's not bad as a youngster. Good high school numbers. Yeah, I think extreme ground ball, really bad control, but potentially good fastball, elite stuff, elite movement. That might be worthy of a pick, although he's already fragile. Let's go back to batters. So I think Botello makes the most sense. He looks to have the highest across the board talent. Vickery would be the other option. I mean, neither of them are very good defensively. I mean, we're drafting these guys for their bats. Neither of them can field. Neither of them can run particularly well. I think we're gonna go with Botello. I'm not crazy about a first baseman in the first round, but he can hit. So we'll take Rodolfo Botello. We go to our second pick. Vickery's still there, which is fantastic. And a lot of those pitchers are still there, so I think maybe right, because we're picking with like the 37th pick. So I think we're going to take Vickery here and get our 2 big bats Ben Vickery. Go down to the second round. And who do they think we should take? Who do they think we should take? Bryce Bomber Lepkowski. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he would still be there. But he's a sidearm 21-year-old pitcher. Throws 97 to 99. He's literally slightly above average at everything. But he's one of the few remaining 2.5-star starters. Far more developed than Rios. Yep, I'm good with that. All right, so most of the good players at this point are gone, I imagine. So we're gonna have to start doing some digging, which is fine. We'll go back to batters. So what do we got? Let's actually do all players. So we've got Jimmy Eckert, Eric Hale. He's 18, good contact, good gap power, good avoid K, below average home run power, bad eye, so he's going to swing at a lot of pitches, but he's only 18. What do we have for power bats? Do we have any power left? Chris Reynolds. Mike Noland, 18 years old, looks to have some power in his bat, but it has him as a ground ball hitter, which is kind of strange. I think I liked, where was he? Chris Reynolds? Yeah, I think I liked Chris Reynolds. The high gap power, high home run, high batting eye means that even if he only hits 240, he still potentially could be a 360, 370 OBP guy. So, all right. Now what? Do we go after Nolan now? Yeah, shortstop with some power? Sure. I'll take a shortstop with some pop. All right, now we're going to start looking at... Let's look at pitchers. And I want to look at pitching, individual pitch potential. So I'm looking for people who have got a couple of pitches that are kind of in the blue, if that's possible. Jeff Gusky, could make him a reliever. He's a fastball, curveball, ground ball pitcher. Yeah, Jeff Gusky or Gusk. Who's got a great fastball? Ben Colston, 98 to 100. He looks really bad, though. Jeremy Wirt goes to Notre Dame. He's no good either. We got Chris Deely with a fastball and a changeup. No, but again, all this is in the orange, and that's no good. Curveball, slider. No. So we might already be out of high, or out of really, well, this guy's not. I kind of like this guy. Wally Forrest. He's 17 years old. Potential decent stuff. I mean, he's got 5 pitches if they develop. Sure, he's 17 years old. Sure. All right, let's look at catchers and defense. Wow. Okay. Fielding ratings, catcher ability. Looks like Josh Witt is the best combination, but he's really bad. Steve Galbraith. Wow. Not a good draft down the board here at all. All right, that's fine. So let's go back to this and look at our speed and see if we can find a high speed, high defense guy. Cameron Davis would be that guy, but he can't hit to save his life. And he literally was a negative WAR player every one of his college seasons because of his bat. Ron Hughes? Sure. Texas A&M. All right, we'll make one more pick. Again, looking for somebody who's got some defense to go along with the speed. There doesn't really appear to be anybody. So maybe we just take a shot at Cameron Davis because he's got the defense and the speed and base running. So, all right. So we're going to complete the draft. All right, let's go in and negotiate. And thankfully, we're saving a lot of money here, which is good. This is one of those things where, that will give us a little more money to potentially dump into our shortstop. Offer these guys what they're asking for. That's fine. Into Marcelo Meyer. That's the name I was thinking of. All right, so we're going to sim ahead today, and we're going to see how long Andy Taylor's out for. My guess, knowing OOTP, he probably blew out his ACL, his UCL, or it's a labrum. So let's just sim ahead here a day or two and see, because that'll help me better determine what I need to do. Oh, he's only out for 2 weeks. Okay, that's not terrible. So we can put him on the DL. We can bring Adam Hill back onto the team. And that would make Carpintero my closer, I guess, for the time being. Sure, we'll see how he does in the closer role. And Adam Hill will make long relief. All right, so what do we need? Second base. I don't know. I mean, I say second base, but Tommy Edman's the kind of player that I would trade for to improve my second base position. And if not him, then David Fletcher. I mean, he's in the minor leagues. I mean, he's a great defensive second baseman. So, yeah. A right field, or not even necessarily right field, just a bat, because we can stick Rodriguez in right field and a DH. So a second baseman and a DH or another bat is what we're looking for from an offensive perspective. From a defensive perspective, I don't know, maybe a bullpen piece. We don't have a lot of money to do any of this, so again, it's going to require me being creative, but yeah, so ideally a second baseman and a bat, or a second baseman who is also a bat, and then we can, just shift some people around, and then a bullpen piece. So that's the plan. I am going to, actually, let's get up to the All-Star game. We'll see who makes the All-Star team, and then I will pause and do some stuff offline and try to sort it out here offline. All right, so we won a couple games in a row. So we lost 2 in a row. Lost to White Sox, lost to Cleveland, and then we won. So we're still half a game out. Half a game out going into the wild card is better than what I had anticipated we'd be, given how the season started. Stanton with his 8th home run, 3 RBIs. Caranto with 3 hits. Jones pitched well. Takelet and Carpintero combine for the win and the save. The following game, Lou 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Green homers. Lou hits his 20th. Hancock picks up his 7th win. Colina gets the save. Carpintero continues to pitch well. All right, so let's take a look at... Oh, did any of our draftees... So our first overall pick signed, but our supplemental pick hasn't signed yet. And where is he? Ooh, we have a lot of first basemen in the system. So can these guys play any other position? No. All right. So Mueller may have to go or something like that. So Bradley has gotten off to an okay start down in. I just saw his name and I wanted to take a look. So, all right. What did I want to look at? I wanted to look at the prospect game. Who made the prospect game for us, or who made the All-Star team first? So All-Stars for the Detroit Tigers: Emerson Hancock, 7-5, 3.26. That's the only pitcher on our roster who made the All-Star game. Offensively, Alex Green made it at first base. So I would say that is a deal that has worked out in our favor. That was the Ball trade. We traded Bryce Ball to Toronto for Alex Green, who's doing exactly what we wanted him to do, putting up almost a 400 on base percentage. Lou made it. So we had 3 players. Lou, Green, and Hancock made the All-Star team this year for us. That is fine. All-Star prospects: Coliano, Cam Collier. That's it. Thought Balog would make it. Okay, all right. So 2 prospects, 3 All-Stars. That works for me. So let's... Yeah, so we know what we need. We need a bat, Really a bat to kind of go along with Stanton, because Stanton is fine against lefties. 925 OPS for us. He's been perfect. What we need is a bat to replace Mendoza in right field, and then we need to figure out second base. And again, the second base thing might be as easy as just calling up Fletcher, but in order to do that, I have to make room, and in order to make room, someone's got to get traded. So it could be Josiah Morrissey gets moved. It could be, I mean, he's 27, so if someone's going to get moved, it's probably going to be him and not Caranto. But that's what I'm going to mess around with. So I'll be back on July 31st, and we'll go over the deals, we'll go over the stats, and we'll call it an episode. Be right back. Hey, guys, we are back. It is Monday, July 31st, and we have moved into the sole possession. Or I guess not the sole possession, but we have moved into sole possession of first place in the AL Central. Game and a half lead over the Minnesota Twins. 17-9 in June, 18-8 in July, 36-17 in our last 2 months. And we made some substantial, I would say substantial upgrades to our team, both for this year and for next, or the next few years, actually. So let's just go to the major transactions log, and we'll just start at the top. So we traded, I would say the smallest deal was Austin Riley, who we just signed as a minor league free agent at the beginning of this season. Didn't want to re-sign with us. So, excuse me. So we sent Austin Riley and 23-year-old Ricky Cabrera, a half-star, 1.5-star pitcher, 23-year-old outfielder who was in rookie ball for us, to the New York Mets, picking up Pete Fairbanks, with the Mets retaining the entirety of his contract. Just gives us a little more depth in the bullpen. He hasn't been great the last couple of years with the Mets, and certainly hasn't been great with us in 3 outings so far. But, I mean, good stuff. Decent enough movement and control. Good fastball, good slider. Throws 100 miles an hour. Will sit sort of in the back of the bullpen for us as a 34-year-old. So that was the first deal. Second deal was sending Will Sanders, and this, we had made 2 really substantial moves, 2 big moves. Will Sanders, and you all know the story of Will Sanders. He was one of our first draft picks. He was 2nd-round draft pick in our first draft, I believe. I guess in our second draft. No, that's our 3rd draft, 2023. So we drafted him in 2023 out of the University of South Carolina in the 2nd round. He was with the big league team in 2024. And I think, I mean, I don't know if I rushed him. His rating suggested that he belonged in the big leagues as soon as we called him up, especially when you look at how he did in the minors. Struggled. He was 0-7, but his peripherals were fine. He struck out 10 per 9. His BABIP was just high. It was good in AA ball. It was really good in AAA, so we called him up. And his best season was 2026, where he went 12-8 with a 4.56 ERA for us, 3.7 WAR. But it never really put it together after that. And it bounced between AA and the big league club this season. So we moved him where he was 2-3 with a 5.06 ERA. So he wasn't even really good in AAA this year. So we sent Will Sanders to the Yankees along with Fermid Hassad, who we got, I guess, from the Yankees, but he hadn't pitched well for us. 36 strikeouts, 39 innings, 1.56 FIP or 1.56 WHIP. His ERA plus was 95. He was walking too many. So we sent those 2 pitchers to the Yankees, and in return, we got ourselves a bat, folks. We picked up Dominic Smith, with the Yankees eating 100% of his remaining contract on the season. Smith on the year coming in 266 with a 532 slugging and an 897 OPS with a 137 OPS plus. Good for 3 WAR, having a really nice year. 33 years old, 214 career home runs with us so far, 6 for 20 with a home run and 2 runs knocked in. So he's going to slide into the lineup as our designated hitter against righties. It will still be Giancarlo Stanton against lefties, but Smith also gives us some flexibility at first. If Green starts to struggle, we can slide Smith in there. So that's the big bat we need, and that was probably the second biggest trade we made. The first was with the Milwaukee Brewers. And we got some stuff here in return, guys. We gave up a bunch, but we got stuff in return. So we'll start kind of at the back end. So we gave up Mike Muller, who was our 4th round pick in 2026. We had a glut of first basemen in the minor leagues, especially with our 1st round pick this year. So we traded Mike Muller along with Blake Robertson, who's just a 1.5 star. They wanted him, so they got him. He's a nothing, just a minor league filler. We sent Josiah Morrissey, and again, you know what you're getting out of Morrissey. Good defense, no real offense. Was pretty good in 2027. I mean, I would have taken an 80 OPS plus 11 home runs, 50 RBIs, but he had really regressed this season, down to 184, 584 OPS, or 584, and then a 54 OPS plus. And his fielding had been fine. I mean, it wasn't as good as last year, but it had been fine. So we included him in the deal. We sent Alexis Armelini, who was somebody we had talked about previously. He's a number 67 prospect in baseball. I think he's going to hit for some good power. I don't know if he's ever going to be good enough defensively, and I don't know if his contact is ever going to develop for him to be anything more than a part-time player. If his contact develops, I mean, this could be a really good player for the Brewers. And then lastly, Grayson Rodriguez. And Rodriguez, I mean, again, you know what he was 26-6 in the 2 previous seasons, so 33-9 in 2.5 seasons with the Tigers. This was, from a WAR perspective, this was likely to be his best year, but his ERA plus was down, was a little down compared to where it had been. His BABIP was up, which signifies maybe he was getting a little unlucky because his peripherals all look basically fine. His Ks per 9 were right where they were. His walks per 9 were down a little. His whip was up a little bit. So I don't think he was pitching poorly. But with what we have in the minor leagues and what we got in return, I felt like this was the right move. It saves us that $10 million a year for the next 3 seasons, which opens up some money to hopefully bring Meyer back. But Grayson Rodriguez, we gave up a lot. We gave up a ton. What did we get in return? We got 3 players from the Brewers: John Todd, Eddie Davis, Ryan Spikes. So we'll start with Eddie Davis. He's probably the worst of the 3 players we got, and he's pretty damn good. Number 90 prospect in all of baseball. Decent contact, good power, good avoid Ks, very good defensively. A switch hitter who, arguably, I mean, not arguably, but has better hitting ratings against righties. He could be the replacement for Dominic Smith next season. We can play him in that corner infield role, 1st and 3rd. But that was the first player we got back. Really, really like Eddie Davis. He will start in AAA for us. Ooh, he's not doing very well in AAA. He may have to move down here shortly. But, so Eddie Davis is the first player. Second player we got back was 25-year-old Ryan Spikes, who is the number 15 prospect in all of baseball. And Ryan Spikes is another one. Potentially elite power out of a middle infield position is not something you see every day. That 80 potential home run power at second base, you just can't pass that up. Number 15 prospect in baseball. He is a little on the older side, but he's another one who will likely be called up next season and could very well replace Kai Caranto. He's clearly not as good a defensive player, but that bat is really, really solid. He'll also start in AAA because he's 5 for 19 so far. Decent start there. And the key to this deal was picking up 24-year-old second baseman John Todd. And John Todd is our starting second baseman. 24-year-old who's still making the league minimum. Great contact, great gap power, good at avoid Ks. Doesn't have a ton of home run power. Doesn't have a great eye. So, I think I have him at the top of the order right now. We may need to move him down, but that is a really good second base bat profile. Going to hit for a high average, hit for a lot of extra base power. He's not going to draw a ton of walks, but he's also not going to strike out a lot, as that avoid K is at 100. And he's very, very good defensively at second base. So, so that was a pretty major trade there. Grayson Rodriguez, Alexis Armelini, Josiah Morrison, Mike Mueller, and Blake Robertson for John Todd, Eddie Davis, and Ryan Spikes. The corresponding move was to call up Trayvon Balog, stuck him in the starting rotation. And yeah, so 3 pretty substantial moves. I think we do need to come in. So against righties, we do have Meyer batting first, which is what I wanted. Todd batting ninth. Okay, so we have Todd batting ninth in both situations, so I'm fine with that. So yeah, so that's where we are. 3 pretty substantial trades. I'm happy with them. I think they improve our team for this year and they improve our team going forward, especially if we can bring back Marcelo Meyer. That locks down our, kind of that keystone of the offense, so to speak, or of the infield, so to speak, to help us going forward. Offense is up to second in the American League. Pitching staff, fourth in runs scored, second in ERA. So things are kind of getting back to normal here a little bit in Detroit land. Yeah, game and a half up on the Twins in first place. Well into the wild card. Even if we do lose to the Twins, we're well into the wild card situation. If we take a look at our pitching stats, Emerson Hancock only 7-7, but with a 3.43 earned run average, 3.56 FIP, 1.141 ERA plus. He has been really, really good, even though the record hasn't necessarily showed it. Striking out less than 2 per 9, giving up less than a home run per 9. It's a fairly good whip. Opponent's batting average is pretty low. Emerson Hancock doing a nice job as our ace. Jackson Jobe has moved up to the number 2 spot with Balog out there now. 9-5, leads the team in wins, 125 strikeouts in 119 innings. He's been pretty good. 2.1 WAR, ERA of 4.3. I'll take it. Colina has been phenomenal out of the pen for us. 56 strikeouts, no home runs in 40 innings. 1.7 WAR out of a middle reliever. I'll take it. Drew Strotman has been good since coming over from Tampa. 4-3 with a 3.75, giving us some solid innings in that number 3 spot in our rotation, which is what we needed. We needed someone to solidify that spot. Andy Taylor back from injury and pitching really well. Jorge Carpintero got a blister, but he's pitched really well as well. So we've got 4, Eder, Carpintero, Taylor, and Colina, 4 relievers who have ERAs under 2 on the year. And they're pitchers that we're leaning heavily on. Takelet has been better. His numbers are starting to come around. 54 strikeouts, only 14 walks in 38 innings. Home runs are a little bit high still, but again, it's only 38 innings. Adam Hill's had a tough year. Considering how valuable he's been to us in the couple of years he's been with the team. 3 pretty solid years. 3 years of at least 1 WAR out of in a swing roll. Just not getting it done this year. Walking too many. His days may be numbered. Balog has gotten a couple of starts. Pitched really well in one. Didn't pitch well in the other. But his initial start, he went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 12 hits and 7 runs, and still got the win. Second start looks pretty sharp. 6 2/3, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. So good start to the career of Traven Balog. Galindo hasn't been good, but again, it's only 13 innings, 9 games. And we talked about Fairbanks. Lineup-wise, our offense is just continuing to motor along. Lou, 331, 433, 621, 1053 OPS, 173 OPS plus. He is a monster. And I decided to leave Collier down in AAA for now. I don't know that now is the right time to move on from Lou, but the offseason might be because his contract jumps up to, I think, 23, 27, 27. Yeah. So next year he makes 23.3 and then 2 years at 27.7. That last year's a team option. So really it's only 2 more years at $51 million. So it's a lot of money. And if we need money to bring back Marcelo Meyer, that might be something we need to consider. But if we continue to play well, we might have money to bring back Meyer either way. Elijah Green, second on the team in WAR, 786 OPS, 3.4 WAR. He's having a nice second season. Power's a little bit down, at least home run power is a little bit down. But literally everything else is up. His average is up 30 points. His on-base percentage is up 60 points. His slugging is up 20. So nice second season for the 24-year-old who continues to play fantastic defense. Talked about Dominic Smith. Marcelo Meyer having a nice bounce-back season. Not that last year was bad at 3.5 WAR, but again, his average is up. His on-base percentage is up. His slugging is up. He's already hit as many home runs this year as he did all of last. Is he playing good defense? He's below average, which is surprising. but I still want to bring him back. Alex Green having a really nice rookie season. 382 on base percentage, 882 OPS. He's getting it done. On pace for 29 home runs, 83 were knocked in, 84 walks, and a 4.2 WAR. We'll look at defense for everybody in a second. Rodriguez, again, he got off to a super hot start. Has struggled a bit over the last couple months, but still on pace for 40 home runs and 114 RBIs. Hopefully sticking him in the outfield won't lead to injury, but he's become our starting right fielder since we picked up Dominic Smith. Corey Collins having another good year behind the dish, on pace for almost 3 WAR, 20 home runs, 70 RBIs. He's going to get expensive next year. I think his ARB number goes up to 8.5, something like that. We are going to have to make a decision at catcher. Collins and Gomez, between the two of them, are going to want somewhere in the vicinity of about $13 million in arbitration next year. Helio Ramos has been fine. The WAR's a little bit down. It's weird. I mean, he's only got 8 doubles. He's on pace for almost 20 home runs and 70 runs knocked in, which is fine. His fielding has been phenomenal out in left field. So he's giving us what we signed him for. I mean, we knew he wasn't going to hit all that well, but offensively or defensively, he's been fantastic. Giancarlo Stanton in that part-time role has been doing really well. I mean, I'm never going to complain about a 963 OPS and a 148 OPS plus against lefties. He's 286, 446, 595. He's got more home runs against lefties, or against righties, but he's mashing left-handers, which is all we wanted him for. Gomez doing a really nice job as our backup catcher, hitting 300, but again, he wants like $4 million next year. Caranto, fine as our backup middle infielder. He's never going to hit, but we knew that. We talked about Todd, and then Mendoza is just, he's not getting it done this year. So he won't play much. He'll probably come off the bench, pinch hit every once in a while, get an occasional start, but that negative 1.5 WAR isn't going to cut it. We'll take a look at prospects really quickly, and then that will be that. So if we go to the pipeline, talked about spikes already. Collier is finally hitting. He's finally starting to figure it out. 263, 341, 439 down in AAA. He will be up next season, and we just have to figure out what to do with him. I mean, he's clearly a better defensive third baseman than Lou, so maybe we start him at third and we make Lou that first baseman / DH, or we move him. That's something we'll deal with in the offseason. Zarate is in A-ball, I think. He's in AA right now. 3-6, 6.12 ERA. He's actually gotten better. He's just walking too many. But again, with that control up to a 31, I think he'll be okay. I really need to see something out of this changeup. Otherwise, he's a reliever with a fastball and a curveball, which is fine, but I would prefer him to be a starter. Castro is in AA right now, I believe, as well. And he's doing okay. Powers sort of vanished since he went up to AA, but we'll let him. I mean, he's young, only 22. We'll let him stay in AA and finish off the season there. Hayden Jones is up. Balog is up. Eddie Davis we talked about. Justin Bailey is in A-ball right now, 6.22. Again, I mean, he's just giving up too many hits, 351 BABIP. We'll let him plug away in A-ball as a 20-year-old and see how he does. Anybody else you want to look at? Castro is in the international complex still. Desmond, shortstop prospect, coming along, hitting the ball really, really well in A-ball. So I think it's time to move him up. Let him get some time and continue to work on those shortstop ratings in high A-ball. Sylvie was our first round pick last year. How's he doing? Pretty good. Not a ton of power, but I mean, he's still only 19, so he'll probably spend the rest of the year where he is, and then next year we can call him up and see how he does. So, so that's gonna do it, guys. So next episode will be September, followed by the postseason. So I'm gonna sim through August offline, and we will be at September 1st the next time we come back. So let me know what you think of the deals we made. I think they were the right ones. I think we made some deals to really solidify things this year, and give us some additional flexibility for next season and the coming years. So I feel like I did okay. You guys may not. You'll just have to let me know. Until we talk again, though, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.